Good morning and welcome back to Horse Racing TV. We have a new guest today over here, a new co-host, Mr. 22-1 Tom joins us on this Monday, the 13th. Why are only Fridays the 13th bad luck, Thomas?
Because we're not playing horses.
Well, last Friday should have been the 13th, the way you and I got together. Holy hell, that was probably the worst Friday we've had in, 2 months?
A while, that's for sure.
Yeah, Ascot.
In the two Guineas races in France were interesting too. Huge prices.
Mm-hmm. Well, I mean, there's nothing
but
wrong
it
with
was,
huge
it was
prices.
even weirder because the Phillies race was run for before, and they and then a deluge came and they delayed the racing 40 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
So completely changed
the track and everything. Well,
yeah.
Looks like it's a nice day.
That's Perry Longchamp, so that kind of track, how that plays.
Mm-hmm. Well, it looks like Ben Salem, Pennsylvania today should be nice weather-wise, right? It's 60 degrees today, a little overcast, perhaps no rain though in the forecast for today. Tomorrow and Wednesday and Thursday, we'll be back there again tomorrow, 22-1. Tom and I. Not quite sure what we're doing Wednesday with the Preakness on Saturday.
York, we're doing Wednesday.
We're doing.
We got to get up a little early to do York.
I'm going to be doing.
There's a group 2, so there's some good racing there.
I'm going to be doing the Preakness wagering guide, so that's quite a task. Hopefully, I can get a lot of that task tackled between here and there, and maybe open up some time. And then Thursday, we'll probably do Pimlico or Aqueduct or something. Tom and I will be back.
Oh, we'll do York again too.
We could do York again as well. Maybe we can do York on Foreign Friday. Is that the plan or what?
I'm still looking at the cards, but it looks like it'll be Newmarket.
All right. Well, Newmarket for Foreign Friday, because the scheduler for Foreign Fridays is to my right on the screen, but to my left in the if I actually point, which is kind of weird. But it's like Yosemite Sam. He went that away, and you're sure to get one of them, right? Hopefully our picks work out that way today, too. Free picks tonight for guaranteed tip sheet. So we're going to stay out on the East Coast, excuse me. Mountaineer Park is the free track this evening. There is a link down in the description below. Kindly click on that. I feel like there's a lot of races that we're going to have a lot of winners on the top of that ticket, some of which are a good price. He's the Superwoman. Race number 1. That's an appropriate name for 2024, and unquestionably. So you can go check those out. And while you're here, please head on over to horseracingtoday.net. We'll have a new article up a little bit later on today. And while you're there, hit on the HRT gear, get yourself a hat, a shirt, look fantastic for the summer, and some great horse racing wear to support the show. All right, Thomas, our show is going to be all about Ben Salem, Pennsylvania, and Parx racing. So kick us off with the conditions for race El Numero Uno.
Yeah, it's a 6.5 furlong, $7,500 claimer for non-winners of 3 lifetime.
Yes, indeed. And here we have Vicey's picks. Screenshot that at 3:49 on the ticker. Of course, at the end of the show, we'll put in the timestamps for every race so you can come back and check them out. Race 1, Race Masters, like Chippewa Bud. Race 2, Nurse Carolyn. We have a few of them in here, so keep an eye on that. You can go at Caddy LaBelle like that with the Patty LaBelle name. All of them in there. Timestamp those as well. Don't worry about misprints. It's no big deal. We're not worried about such minor details. We are worried about our 10,000 simulations in here, Thomas. We're looking for the horse that has a good shot to be on the lead. According to this, there's 4 of them with a good chance in our 10,000 simulations to have a shot. Looks like Boom Boom Kaboom, the greatest named horse on the card today. That one should be up front. Plenty of them with pretty strong C zones. So you should see all these horses with a 50% score or higher based upon our projections be in their comfort zone, run races that are familiar or similar to their best performances. We also want to do 10,000 simulations to get our own simulated odds using speed figures. And you see here, looks like Katie's Notion could be a potential overlay. Spelled well, could be a potential overlay as well. We're not so concerned about the morning line odds. We're really more focused on post-time odds. And then based upon those 10,000 simulations, we see how many of them were speed figures at or above par, according to the par speed figure for the folks at Brisnet. In this case, 80. You see, the only horse with that chance is the 10 horse, along with that overlay. Call these green goal horses, Thomas. And then let's take a quick look at the pace setup in here, Tom. You see anything here with the way these horses lay out based upon your analysis that you disagree with?
No, not really.
And then if you like to do pace handicapping over here, we'll see that Boom Boom Kaboom, Almond Cider, Tough Workout, Katie's Notion, all of these four should compete for the lead. I would probably give a little bit of the edge to the two inside horses. At the end of the race, the horse that will be coming with the most enthusiasm is Spelled Well, a little bit better than Katie's Notion, Chippewa Bud in that mix too. They're all at least a length better than our Andrew B. And then finally, the top four total pace horses usually account for about 70 to 73% of all winners. There you see them. Thomas, let's see who you picked.
Yeah. All righty. Pull up the right screen. I start with number 4. Our Andrew B. Comes off a claim. And the trainer's claiming success is 24%. Second time race at Parx at 7. He closed and then faded. Well, like we're going to find out today whether it was a good claim or not. And right now, its odds are 11 to 1. Then I'm going to take number 2, Tough Workout. This is a trainer who's not done particularly well yet, but only 10 starters. She's, this is an interesting horse because it's in the mix and then retreats at the end. It looks like it's coming to form because it's really getting closer and closer. So I had to put it in my ticket, and I'm hoping that for the best for that trainer. Finally, I will take Chippewa Bud. His 4th last time out. He just didn't move at the end, which was a little bit of a concern. But I think a little drop here, and he's going against non-winners at 3 this time. So I think that'll help.
And then you also have the 1 is your long shot in there.
Yeah.
At the very end. All right. I'm going to start with the 10 horse right now. That's that big overlay according to our simulations in here. That green in every column. Big class drop in here, Thomas. Last time he ran at this level, he won by damn near 5 lengths. And he's only run at Parx once before, and that was a win as well. Number 6, Chippewa Bud. Last time out, all of the race internals were better. I'm expecting an improvement on the improvement in the classic 3rd start after a layoff. Spelled Well. I'm curious if our English spelled correctly, I think would be the right way to go with that. But Signs of Hope, one of your kind of betting horses, Tom, Signs of Hope, as it improved early in its race last time out. And then I also have Financial Strength as my last pick in there. All of the internals were better from the go to the wire, and another one with the opportunity to show more in the 3rd start after a layoff. And we have like $16 left because in every race we do a $2 win bet on our top pick. We do a $1 exact the box with our top 2 picks, 50-cent try with our top 3, and then the 10-cent superfect the box with our top 4. That equates to $8.40 per race, which 10 race card, $84, leaving us $16 to spend however we like elsewhere. Next up for you and I, Tom, is the 2nd race on this new week of racing in Bensalem, PA. What did they put in the books for this one?
It's the bottom of the barrel, maiden claimers, 10K. And if you're a PA bred, you go for 12.5. Or you can be entered for 12.5, I should say. Mm-hmm. And it's your basic bunch of losers.
Basic try to get that first W against other
folks. Yeah, exactly.
Now you can see right there, this is a PA bred, right? 12.5 versus the non-PA bred, 10 grand. So our simulations, once again, I forgot something. At 6.5 furlongs, forgot this in the first race too. The profile of a winner does favor horses with
Where's the predictor?
Speed. We don't have one. We're the predictor in this case, Tom. I'm working on one, to believe it or not, but it's not going to be anywhere near as fancy as the one we get from Racing Post. It's going to be something more basic, sort of along the lines of an Excel sheet that's animated in PowerPoint. That's the depth of my ability to make graphics right now. But I do have the ability to tell you that the profile of a winner does favor tactical speed 26% of the time at 6.5 furlongs. So we should see this on the opener as well. They go wire to wire. There's a rail bonus. So Winbori could do pretty well. 2 through 7, play fair, 8 and out, get a little bit of a penalty. Plenty of early pace in this race. You have at least, 5 horses that can get after it, even the 6. It's going to depend on who gets out of the gate the quickest. Our C-Zone, we find 2 of them, Lucky Opportunity and Nora's Gamble. Most likely to enjoy the way this race sets up. Huge par plus number for Echo Lake in here, Tom. Also, a big-time simulation overlay. Everybody else, or underlay, depending how you look at it, everybody else looks like they could run higher than their odds. We see the 5-horse over here as a low knee. This whole host of horses here, none of them have been within 5 lengths of the leader so far in their career at the finish line. 4 and 6 want to close. Tom, low knees can be a lot of trouble. Lucky Opportunity is about a length quicker than everybody else when the gates open. Late speed's a little bit lacking. We do see the horse that takes that prize is Echo Lake. And Echo Lake also is a 13-point total point favorite here, Tom. That's usually 2.5 lengths or so. And that's a horse we both agree on.
Yeah. Drops big, add blinkers and Lasix. Been off for 7 months. Trainers clicking along this year at 33%. So knows what he's doing. Last race was on the turf and showed 0. And the works are only average. I mean, they're nothing fabulous, but it's a big drop. And usually coming out of a special weight into these types of races, you do want to pay attention, but you're not going to get any dollars on this one.
Probably not.
Yeah, I doubt it. 5, Lucky Opportunity, my next choice. Showed speed at this level last out at the same distance. It was the favorite. Anyone, he could go in reverse, like a lot of these have done in the past.
Well, against these, he might be able to run ass backwards and win.
Yeah, or he could take the lead and not look back.
Mm-hmm.
Finally, I take 7, Whiskey Street Blues. He showed very little in the last race, a little bit here and there. Went in a mile race against state breds at the 20K level. I don't think he had chances in watching the race because he was too wide. He's done a little better in maiden claimers. But wisely or not wisely in this race, the trainer's going to use an apprentice, get some weight off, which may help.
Yes, usually is kind of helpful. And again, you have you and I matching at the back end with the 8-horse and matching on the front end with the 2-horse, along with this horse dropping from the maiden special ranks, Tom, and also coming in from the NYRA circuit. So it's an even bigger class drop. I know it's been off for a while. This one, at worst, will be stalking the leaders, Tom, and then has the most late speed by a long shot, and also the 13-point total pace advantage, very likely with that long layoff that the horse could be bigger, stronger, faster. So a lot of advantages for Echo Lake today, which kind of makes you wonder why it went from maiden special weight 10 to in NYRA to 10 grand at.
This also could be the infamous theory that a friend of mine plays, which is called big favorite run second.
Yes. I was about to say at Parx, we see that all of the time.
Yeah.
And the horse that could beat him here is Lucky Opportunity. That is the 5-horse. We've seen too many low needs on this show that get to the front. Their boldness grows and they go wire to wire. And this one has a very good chance to be on the lead today. The Last Jet, the 4-horse, lightly raced, one of the most lightly raced horses in the field with only 3 races in it. And last time out, improved from the beginning to the middle to the end. And then Tom and I again agree on that 4th position. Catalina Nina, if the 5 isn't on the lead, this one probably will be on the lead. For our good friend Don Johnson, we put together a Miami Vice pick 4. I like Tom and his $12 that he likes to spend. Tom, you're going to tell us why you singled the 2s. Was that basically the cornerstone of your pick 4?
Yeah, I wanted to do an economical pick 4 in these just because, and the 2 would appear to be the outstanding pick here, so I had to go with that.
Yeah, I feel like at some of these you had to be a little bit Greetings from Turkey. How are you? So, Tom, we've taken this from all across the world. I kind of felt like the same way in the opening 4 races to the opening pick 4, that there's a chance to go chalk, 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 and then maybe a little bit something open at the back end. So didn't really want to commit a lot to it either, just in case you get chalk, chalk, chalk. And then there's nothing worse than hitting a pick 4 and then still
And
winning
pays
less
$12.
money than you bet, right?
Yeah, he pays $12.
Yeah. And that can happen.
Yeah.
It happens.
And that's just the way I felt about that. These races, they were just, it just not enough there for me to invest any more than that.
Mm-hmm. Well, we're a couple of minutes from race number 1 running, Tom, and we'll describe what's going on. So let's try to
3
blast
minutes.
through race number
3
3
minutes
real
away.
quick.
3 minutes.
So what's
away.
happening in race 3?
What's happening in race 3? They're running horses.
Mm-hmm.
If you didn't know that already.
Yes, I think they're
We're in a 7 furlong race. $5,000 is the claiming tag. We got non-winners of 2 since November 13th.
Lucky
last year.
13th. Yes, I wonder if that was a
that
Friday.
means you can get a really mixed bag in some of these races. Being ones that have just recently won and they're still qualified for this type of a race, or you get the ones that have been pathetic and maybe they'll show signs of life. Who knows?
Yep. Well, the ones with the most life at 7 furlongs are stalkers. 15% of the time, they're pace setters. The rails fair 2 and 3 get a bonus. 4 and out are discounted. Again, real quickly, our simulations tell us that the 4 horse, just in spite of it, should be your pace setter. You also see that the 1 and the 3, Hibachi and Mischievous Juan, those are the only 2 that should be in the 50% zone. Got plenty of them, a trio of them that should run a speed figure. But the 4 horse being the strongest, above par for this level, which is, or at least par, which is 83. Couple of overlays in here too. Looks like Just in Spite is an overlay. Mischievous Jones right on the mark. Our race shape, pretty balanced race in here, Tom. 3 that want to be on the front, 4 that want to be in the middle. This trio with a little bit of flexibility. Early on, the beginning of the race, Just in Spite of it, we'll have some company from the 2 and the 6. So it looks like all the even number horses are going to get out, duel it in the beginning. Let's see if the odd ones on the way home. Looks like Mischievous Jones does have the most late speed, but Just in Spite of it's right there as well. Maybe another one of those just run second horses in there, Just in Spite of us. 1 length better than Mischievous Jones. Well, if we have time to go through our picks for race number 3 before race number 1 gets cooking, Tom, let's see.
No, I think you're okay.
Yeah, we got 4 minutes, so let's go ahead and go through. I don't know what was shown. Must have looking at the wrong thing. Go through your picks for us, Tom, in race number 3.
I started with number 2, Dixie Cannonball. It was claimed 1 start back and then chased the field in the next start. The trainer has a really good record second up on off a claim, 30% rate, and that's based on 40 starters, so that's a nice sample.
Mm-hmm.
I think it'll show speed again. I think drawing the inside is going to help. Number 6, Mega Charlie, my next choice. Drops to lowest level, and he's going to face this type of company as he's done before. He's got plenty of speed. There's no question about that. He's just going to have to negotiate that outside post. That's why I put him for second rather than on top.
Mm-hmm.
And finally, I'm going to take 3, Mischievous Juan. After winning a non-winners of 1 race at 7, he showed nothing against non-winners of 2 last time out. At 6, I'm going to go with that angle of second up at the distance and think he'll hit the board this time around.
And this time we differ on the back. You got the 5, Crypt. I have your 3 in that spot for me. I'm ignoring the big time 4 horse in there. I'm not going to do it. It's got that huge par plus score in there. Very likely to be your pace setter, although only 15%, probably the distance where being on the lead means the least at Parx. Here's the thing, though, for Just in Spite of it. If you go through the past performances, when he gets to the front, he wins. I think he'll be there today. Mischievous Jones, the 3 horse, 7 horse for me. There's too many mischievous people in this race, Thomas. A Jones and a Juan.
Well, there's us too, so that may be a bad thing.
That makes it 4 for sure. This one did run better early fractions last time out. and also improved his late speed. So they connect the two together today, and maybe the Jones version of the Mischievous Brothers gets the job done. Mega Charlie, the 6-horse, Tom's second selection in there, drops, as you mentioned, Tom, to the lowest level that this horse has been in the last 10 races. And finally, the other mischievous one, this one won with the better C-zone score, is running the proper distance today. 6 times out, a couple of wins, a couple of seconds. You put him at any other distance, 22 times, just 3 wins, 3 seconds, and 2/3. So clearly running 7 furlongs. The is it a sprint, is it a route distance is the perfect distance for him. Melvin Torres popping up his early pick 5 there. Keep an eye on that. 6, 8, 10 over to 2, 4, 5, 6. He's singling up the 4 in this race. Great minds think alike. 2, 6, 7, and then singling up the 8. So keeping it pretty inexpensive. In the first up, Christopher D'Souza likes the 5 with the 1 and the 9. And they're approaching the gates as they are ready for the first race in a very sunny day out there in the suburbs of Philadelphia. Again, if you're joining us for the first time today, kindly hit us up with the press of the subscribe button on YouTube. We're only 4,900 people away from 10,000. So I know it sounds like a lot, but if everybody who's watching right now on YouTube hits the like button, if you haven't, or the follow or subscribe button, if you haven't done that already, that's going to help us get a lot closer to that 10,000 goal. If you're watching on Twitter, one really easy way you can help us is to hit the retweet button and follow us there as well. Of course, all of our social sites are streaming down there below. Horse Race, the number 2 day on Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok. And here, for whatever reason, we're Horse Racing Radar TV on YouTube because we just want to make things as difficult as possible.
We want to confuse people.
Yeah, that's what our picks are for, not our social sites. But
our picks last Friday were.
Yeah, they were. Well, they were unconfusing in the sense if you faded them.
Yeah. If you just dismissed our picks and picked the winners.
Yeah, the rest of the field, you'd have been all right. All right. So in the first
Except
race,
for the 25 horse field.
Yeah, I think
we don't have too many of those type of races in this country.
Now the Kentucky Derby, and then you can't win those either, right? Because the horses that should win decide they want to grind on each other down the stretch, and that makes it fun. All right, Leo, good to see you as well today too. Namchuk in race number 1, he wants to put the 1 and the 10 together. So keep an eye on that combination as they get prepared to run race number 1. Tom has the 4 horse. I got the 10 horse. Right now, the 4.
The 6 is the post time favorite.
Mm-hmm.
Looks like it, but it's decent. I mean, 2 to 1 is a decent price.
Yeah, it's workable for sure.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do we have any overlays on here? It looks like the 5 horse. Yeah, we have that.
1 or 2. Yeah, you should have a couple.
And they're off and running in the first race over there. Kind of a awkward start for a lot of horses. The 2 horse, tough workout, is found its way to the lead, being challenged to its outside by the 3 horse, Almond Cider. We had those 2 to be up on the lead. The 8 horse is in the mix as well right now. A boom, kaboom. Then behind that, you have I don't know, it's pretty spread out right now. The 3 horses on the lead, then you got the 2 and the 8. You got the 4, the 6, and the 10 in the third wave. And then there's like a 4th wave. They almost built like a pyramid, right? Because you got 1 horse, then 2 horses, then 3 horses, then 4 horses. As they go through the turn, the 3 horse continues to set the tone. A boom, kaboom is getting himself into the mix. Looks like that one's running about the easiest right now, to be honest with you, Thomas. Looks like the 4 horse on the rail, your top selection, is going to try to make a move, although he just got blocked pretty aggressively. He might have actually been the winner of this race, Tom. He still might prove to be the winner of this race if he can get around everybody else. Oh, that was not pretty at all back there. It looks to me like it's going to go 8, and then the 4, and then the 1. Yeah, I had the 4 still got him. 4, 8, 1, 6. Way to go, Thomas, on Andrew B with the long shot. I think I'm going to wrap it up and go home now. Bring Tom in, and he comes in right off the get-go with a 10-1. Our Andrew B. Tom, rewind your thoughts on that one. Why did you like that one again?
Just showing, it's been showing stuff. It was off a claim, high percentage, 24% success rate. The 7 furlongs ran second, second time at that race. It closed and then faded. I think it was coming to form.
Mm-hmm. He came into form right there for sure.
Yep.
Hope jockey's okay. Yeah, I think it was the 3-horse that fell down there, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, I think that was the one that went down.
So the 3-horse was ridden by Roberto Perez. So it goes 4 and then 8. And then let's take a look over here again real quick. Let's rewind on this. And then we'll move on. Race number 4, our Andrew B. Right there. Good call, Thomas.
Yeah, well, we got to start out with a bang.
That's what we got to go the whole way that way.
We don't end with a whimper.
Well, we have you got a lone PC. You got to love that. He had a stack full of horses in front of him. And I thought when the 3 blocked him that.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be in trouble, but no, he got loose and caught the 8.
Yeah, it was by far the best horse in that race. I think he wins by 6-7 lengths if there's not if he doesn't get blocked right in there as well, right? All right, so now you and I are going to move on.
I mean, the morning line on the 8 was 9-2 and went off at 8-1.
Mm-hmm.
So that was your overlay.
Some nice prices in there for sure.
Yeah.
All right, race number 4, Thomas. Conditions they are.
We're going a mile and 70 yards. These are $7,500 claimers, non-winners of 4 lifetime. So these are a little better than some of the ones we talked about earlier.
Well, it can't be any better than the 4 just was right there, at least not for you. At a mile and 70 yards to get that 4th win or more.
Well, we got the inquiry sign up because of
that's just because that horse fell down.
Yeah.
Well, the only thing that could be bad is if the 4 clipped its heels, right? Then it could get
4-8-1-6 will be the result.
The final order.
Yeah.
That's going to be a nice pair.
Yeah, that's a nice price. Those are nice prices. I wonder if we're going to have that all day.
Yeah, well, I hope so, and hopefully have a few of them in our tickets. Besides,
well,
both of us.
I already gave the winner out for the first race, so I'm done.
You're done. Well, I doubt that. So in the 4th race. At $170, early speed does great. 41% of the time, it's great enough to win on the wire. Rail discount for Luli's Dancer, 2 and 3, a bit of a bonus. 4 through 7, a discount. 8 and out, bonused again. So it's an accordion in terms of the post positions are concerned. At the beginning of race number 4, it looks like Vanishing Faith could vanish from the field, although Fast Mule will try its best to keep up. The 2 with the most likely trips to fit inside their comfort zone are the 2 inside horses, the 1 and the 2. Got a trio of them that could run a speed figure at par or better, that being the 2, the 6, and the 7. So Dixie Groove, Fancy Filly, and once again, Fast Mule. And that is the only mule I've ever seen was fast was in that cartoon where that was Zebra that went race. Do you remember that? Zebras are mules, right? Am I right about that?
Well, I don't know about that, but out in California, you used to have mule racing, and they discontinued it when the fair circuit kind of shut down.
Are they fast mules? I've never seen. I think they're kind of stubborn and do their own thing. No, you're stubborn.
They go whatever they do whatever they want to
do. Sounds like kids.
Yes, we've been there, done that.
All right. So in race number 4, our race shape, really nobody wants to be the pilot all alone. The 1 and the 3 prefer to co-pilot. Here you have those versatile horses, the 2 and the 7 in a 6-horse field. 5 and 6 want to close. Short field, speed usually is useful. Vanishing Faith, Fast Mule, and Fancy Filly. They're considerably quicker than these 3, but those 3 at the end of the race are the ones with the most late speed. So this race is setting up between the 3 that want to be on the front and the 3 that want to be on the back. If we look at our top total pace picture, it looks like only Fast Mule doesn't fit in, Tom. And guess where we're both starting? With Fast Mule, right?
Yeah. That's where I'll start. 7, Fast Mule. Made a move on the turn last time out and closed a little, but still ran 7. I think, the favorite in this race. Likes the distance. Got 5 starts, 2 wins in 2 seconds. The 7 post is always a little concern on the outside. Depends on how, but since it sort of lacks the early kick, I think it should be okay. 2, Dixie Groove will be my next one. It's won 2 in a row, and had issues at the start and still won last time out. And that was by 3 1/4 lengths. So nice little move there. She, of course, got to move up in class because of that win. And I go with the old hot horse angle here, and also winning by open lengths, which I always like to see. And then I'm going to take number 6, Fancy, or yeah, I'll go with Fancy.
Yeah, it's fancy.
Fancy filly. It comes off a claim, ran late the last race, hasn't won in a long, long time, but maybe the change of trainers will get this horse a little more motivated. We'll see.
And then the one, Luli's Dancer, getting the
2380 is a nice price. I'll take it.
Yeah, for that 4 horse. Yeah, 2380, and then the 8 horse, 680 to show, and then $4 even for financial strength. The 6 horse, Chippewa making the Superfecta. The Exacta with the 4 and the 8, $84.90 for $1. Who wouldn't take that? The Trifecta for 50 cents with the 4, the 1, and the 8, $180.35. And then the Superfecta, throw in the 6 at the bottom of that for a dime, and you got $135.60. Now that's how you start the unlucky 13th day of the month, unquestionably. We have the same 2 horses up front, which is going to be either good or bad. Usually it's bad, but Fast Mule is a green go horse. Fast Mule, the 7 horse, is Paco Lopez. Right distance for this horse in its second start after a layoff. It's run it 5 times. He's got 2 wins and 2 seconds, no third. But Paco will make sure to keep that record clean. The Dixie Grove, the 2 horse, that's the one with the big overlay there, strongest par plus. Did win a couple in a row last time out. It ran better fractions at 1 mile and a 16th compared to 1 mile in the previous race. And now it's going to split those 2 distances. Number 1, Luli's Dancer, had some early race problems in its last race. I think all it needs today is a little bit of a better start, and you have a better finish. And then Fancy Filly, for sure, that's how we're going to go with that one. In the money, 8 out of 14 at Parx. Tom, this is your kind of horse. Win? Nah. But in the money, yeah, that's what I'm playing it for. We have, again, our pick 4s. This time, you're going to end it with all in a single in there again.
People sometimes think, oh, you're picking 3 horses and you want them all to win. No, because you're trying to hit the gimmicks. And if you're trying to hit those, you better play horses that are good at getting something, but not necessarily winning.
Yeah, to me, the way I do it is I just rank them in order of how I think their chances of winning are. Second pick 5 for Melvin, 147 with the 6, 7, 8 with the 145 with the 5, and then the 1, the 3, and the 6. I deleted the 8 because those bastards. Which bastards are you talking about? Those bastards. No, we certainly hope the jockey's doing all right as well. I did 2-7 over to 1, 6, 7, 8 over to 3, 5, 6 over to 5, 6, 7, 8. We have a $50 budget. I double Tom's, and hopefully it pays off, because I feel like the back half of this card today could be like that opening race where just about anything can happen. Tom, tell us what is going to happen, at least from the condition books perspective, for the 5th race out of 10 today.
Well, we have a 6.5 furlong race for $7,500 horses, and these are non-winners of 1 since February 13th, which is your lucky day.
The 13th. It's actually Terry's lucky day. And in our horse racing today, our HRT gear, the 13th shirt, is actually my favorite one. And you could help the show out, save a few bucks, because for the next 4 days, you could save 15%. There is a link in the description down below to get your HRT gear. We would greatly appreciate that. The profile of a winner for a 6.5 furlong race, we've seen the first 2 are going to be like that. So the first one, we saw the 4 come from off the pace. Speed didn't really hold up. tactical speed usually is the best way to go, although 1 out of 4 still manages to go wire to wire. But we haven't really seen that speed bias at Parx maybe for the last 3-4 weeks now. A bit of a rail bonus for Lulinda's Heart. And then you also see 2 through 7 play fair, 8 and out. That's a tough place to be at this distance, Tom. Early on, again, another race where their bunch have plenty of early speed. It does look like the 3-horse might be a touch quicker than the rest. Only 2 of them with a C-zone score, comfort zone score of 50 or more. That's High Time Valentine and Vitami. 1 horse is not all that far off with Lulinda's Heart. Our par plus, the 4 outside horses, the best chance is to run a speed figure above par for this level. And as far as our overlays are concerned, Tom, at least from our standpoint, the 2 outside horses, the 7 and the 8, perhaps offer up a little bit of value. Maybe High Time Valentine, a touch of extra sauce today as well. Our race shape for the 5th one. Most horses want to be middle back, Tom. You see anything in here from your analysis that you disagree with? Somebody you think in the back will actually be forward?
No, I used the 3 as my top choice. So, and I think that's what you're going to see. A lot of speed.
So that and the 6 are going to get to the front, and Canoodle not too far behind in there. And then our late speed is going to go to Boca Royalty. That one is about a length and a head, neck better than Canoodle, although we see Canoodle show up twice in there, early and late. And then Boca Royalty, Canoodle, Vitemi are the top 3. 6-point gap down to this crew right there. There's Tom's 3. The likely pace setter. Tom, you think it's going to take that pace wire to wire?
I think it's got a great chance. Dropping from 10K after showing some speed, and then went in reverse. And it's done that in really the last 3 races. Moved from a 5K claimer with a win to a $7,500 claimer with a win. So a little bit of a drop here to non-winners of 1 since February 13th date. And I think can help. Speed drop. Why not?
Just
needs to hold on.
Mix. Mm-hmm.
8 Canoodle. She's shown some pace in her last race. 3 races, but then just doesn't finish. And Laurel last out, not great. But she hasn't won in a long time, which is, of course, a concern. But the drop is definitely going to help. They want to pay some bills because they claim this horse, and so far it's not paying the bills. So I'm going to throw it in there for some placing, but I don't know about win. And finally, 6 Batimi, I guess. I don't know. Faces 5,000 claimers last out and won the race, and sort of, it was just, basically went to the front and didn't look back.
Mm-hmm.
And they claimed her for 16K, and she finally justified it. There's no question she needs the drop. In my mind, she's got some speed. Just a matter of who breaks fast enough. That would be really to say. And that's why I'm going to put it for 3rd.
I'm going to put it up first because we're going to get more Paco Lopez in race number 6 with Vitemi. Also ran the top speed figure last time out, 8 points clear of everybody else. That means everybody else has to come up, or this one has to come down. Both are possible.
It's the old story of everybody else gets a little better, or you get a little better, or you're getting a little worse, or you reverse that.
Or hopefully everybody stays the same and the 6-horse wins. That's what fingers, toes, hairs crossed, everything. Second up for me, I'm going to go with the 7-horse in here, Boca Royalty. Up its speed figure in the last 3 races. And Tom, you're the one that turned me on to the skeptical handicapper. And in Barry Meadows' book, he said 3 consecutive speed figure increases in a row or more than that. That's what I deem an alpha angle, wins at least 15% or more. And we do see that the horse improved all of its race internals last out. Canoodle is a class dropper for the king of Parx, and that would be Jamie Ness. This one is making the run at the lowest level in its last 10 starts. And we talk about trainer intent from time to time. I don't know, Tom, if you remember, we had Richard Hazelton on our Thursday night podcast, and he mentioned that one of the things he did as a trainer's kid in his analysis is try to get a grip on what the trainer intent is. I think Ness wants to win and hopefully get his horse bought from him today. And then finally,
I think he wants to pass it along to somebody else.
Well, he's probably hoping to collect the check too, right?
He wants to get a check too. Well, yeah, that's an important part, but that's why you play the claiming game. It's in, out, and whatever.
And he doesn't want to pull.
The only time I put an exception is when you're looking at those $100,000 claims and plus. That's a whole different ballpark.
Yeah, he doesn't want to pull that monopoly card that says pass go and don't get paid, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Somebody else taking that horse to the winner's circle next time out at this level. And then finally, Lulinda's Heart, the one horse for me, strong rail. So you can see a little bit of edge there. Capable of solid efforts off the bench. One of the wins or second place came in there. And I think, in poker, they call it a tell. Sometimes I probably read too much into this stuff, but the top jockey there, Michelle Sanchez, rides for the first time in the last 10 of a horse that's really shown nothing. Got a feeling somebody's jockey's agent got a call and said, hey, we got a price that's ready to pop. We want to have the best jockey possible on board for this trip. You ever think like that, Tom? And then when it's over, you go, why did I think like that?
I'll be honest, I do it more in Europe. You see a horse with a trainer, and William Buick's going to ride. Okay, he rides normally for Appleby, right? He's riding for some more obscure trainer or one that doesn't have a lot, less horses. There's a reason for that. And you got to take a little second and sometimes a third look at that horse to make sure that may be an interesting move. And occasionally you can pick him up on some prices. Here, a little more of a mixed bag. I think on the higher end horses, you see that the middle and lower mixed bag.
Well, Sanchez is to Parx what Buick is to Europe. So I'm going to stick with my guns, Tom. All right. Sixth race as we tackle the two middle races in the card today. Tom, they're going to run for a mile, and what are they going to do it for?
We're $5,000 claimers. They're non-winners of 2, and that's since November. That magic number 13.
Yeah, indeed. You think we'll see any of these in the Royal Ascot in 5 weeks?
No. Oh yeah.
No. Maybe some fans.
Yeah.
Maybe some people will make it from the stands in Ben Salem. Probably just as few of them as there will be horses over there. But in any case, in the sixth race at a mile, the type of horse that generally gets the job done is one that's on the lead. 46%. That's a big number. Get to the lead, and they do not give it up. You definitely want to be forwardly placed. Pretty strong rail for Juliet's Music. 2 and 3 play fair. 4 and out get discounted. And for whatever reason, if you wear a 7, it's a bad place to be. If you wear the 8 or higher, it's probably the best place to be. So that one path over makes a huge difference in race number 6. There isn't an 8 horse in here, so no worry about that. At the beginning, another 3 horse, Aaron's Enthusiasm, should be your pace setter, although the 2 horses to the inside have a little bit of tempo when the gates open too. Our strongest C-zone scores, we got a whole host of them, except for the 2 and the 6, most likely to find this pace comforting. Caddy LaBelle, the play on words right there, the only par plus horse in the field, at about an 18% chance to run a speed figure that hits 78 or better, at least according to our simulations. Maybe a potential overlay from 3-1 to 5-2 for closed rows. Classy Miss looks like it's appropriately priced in the 7 horse. Maybe the best play of the day for race number 6, 6-1 odds, half of what the morning line odds look like. Our race shape, 3-1 to be on the front, 2 Sesame Street horses in the middle that aren't like anybody else, lone occupiers of the pressure and pressure or close types. We did see in our simulation that the 3 horse, Aaron's Enthusiasm, tends to be or wants to be the pace setter, likely to get that spot today, a full length quicker than Juliet's Music and Close Rose and Classy Miss, these two to its inside. At the end of the race, it looks like Caddy LaBelle, about a length quicker than Tomer. Those two should be bunched up together at the back. The late speed brings Caddy LaBelle to the top of the pack, just a couple points faster than the front runner, though we do see from top to bottom only an 8-point difference. So that means you get blocked, you go wide. If you're one of these closers and you get stuck behind traffic, you might not get the opportunity to do what the 4 did in the opener. This looks like a wide open race, Tom. So why did you start with the 2?
Oh, it was claimed a little bit and then ran awful. And now I think it's dropping back to its claiming price and going to face the same type of horses at a lesser price. And I thought that was a good move. Trainer clicks at 14% first after claim. And I really like that it drove the inside this time post. I think that's going to help it a lot. And again, we're going to use an apprentice, get that 7 pounds off. And I think that may make the difference. Number 6, Caddy LaBelle. Was claimed last time out. Even race, bit wide, ran 3rd. She's had issues starting more than a few times. So I'm thinking maybe the trainer did a little work with that horse. Trying to get it out of the gate a little better. The trainer's record, though, for in-the-money finishes off the claim is 36%. I like those numbers. And 5, Classy Miss, going to be my final choice. She went over 8 lengths out last time out. She's been doing well at this kind of distance. And, yeah, she moves up to non-winners of 2. So a little bit, tiny bit of class, but move up. But that was a big win. And the comment was, she wasn't doing much to win. So maybe she got something in reserve. Let's see how she does here.
Yeah, that would be that's a decent comment. It didn't have to work at all to get the W. I like that. The 4 horse Beyond a Million is your long shot. Tom's sticking with the 4s in there today. I'm looking to me in this race, number 6 to the 6. I like to play on the words there. Caddy LaBelle, sitting on a bounce back race in the 3rd start after layoff, dropping off the claim. And one of the things you got to pay attention to when you're looking at the drop off the claim is, are they going to lose money on the claim? Which to me says warning, 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 like that old, what was it, Lost in Space? Warning, warning, warning. Will Rogers with the robot with like a fishbowl head.
Yes, correct.
All right. So I don't get the warning, warning, warning when it's a profitable trade if the horse gets claimed, dropped, and then wins next out. In fact, I think they would double their money. That's what I call a good investment. Kind of like buying GameStop today. I don't know if you folks are following the market, but that stock's been halted like 9-10 times today as they're bidding it up again. Number 5, Classy Miss, has 3 consecutive speed figure increases. We talked about that with Barry Meadows just a few races ago. Smoking the field by 8. You did like that, Tom. Horses that win by a big margin. That's another one in Barry Meadows' book, where if they win by, I think if I don't remember if it's 1.5 or 2 lengths, but if you win by that much or more, again, that next race you win, the probability is above 15%. I also like the fact that in that big win, it ran more than a second faster, which is an indication to me the horse is in shape. Aaron's Enthusiasm, that one might have a little bit too much early speed for the rest of them in here. Does its best when it's on the lead. I think there's a really high probability it's going to be on the lead today. And when he wins, Aaron's Enthusiasm is enthusiastically wire to wire. And then finally, Close Rose, your top pick, my last pick, Tom, back to a level where it ran last 2 races ago. And when it ran at that level, it almost won by 10 lengths. That's a pretty decisive victory, I feel like. And I want to say thanks real quick to Tom O'Malley, Nirvana Turf, Hillary Shellmeyer, Rick Hapner, Glenn Garafono, and Yasim Bolina for the thumbs up on Facebook. If you agree with them, kindly give us a thumbs up on Facebook and on YouTube. Unfortunately, we don't get to mention who thumbed up us on any other platform, but we do.
As long as it isn't another finger, then we were good.
We probably get those, but they don't put them on there anymore. They used to have the dislikes that show up, but they don't do that anymore. I guess snowflakes didn't like to see that they were getting ratioed. I guess that's what they call it, right? When you get 1 thumbs up and 2 thumbs down.
Right.
The good news for us, Tom, throughout the course of our history, our thumbs up to thumbs down is like 1,000 to 1. Thumbs up to thumbs down. So thank you for the all the kind love and support from the folks in the community. We appreciate that. Plus, I go back and delete all the thumbs downs. I wish I could. I don't have the ability to do that. All right, let's see how long before we have off to race number 2. We got 3 minutes, Tom. So I think if we go fast, we can do race number 7. So let's try that real quick. What are the conditions here?
Oh, it ran already. No, kidding. Mile and an eighth. So they don't run a lot here.
Mm-mm.
And $7,500 claimers, non-winners of 1 since that infamous 213.
Yes, indeed.
February 13th.
It's got to be some numerology in that with a 2 and a 1 and a 3, right? But at a mile and an eighth,
possibly.
Yes, somebody who has some numerology expertise might be able to fill us in with that. But they've only, as you mentioned, run 8 races so far. 3 of those races went wire to wire. None of them did it from the rail. Only a couple of them from post 2 and 3. All the rest came from 4 through 7. Nobody did it 8 and out. So you want to have a little bit of early pace. You want to be on the middle part of the track. It looks like in the 7th race, there's plenty of pace in the middle of the track, although the 7 and the 8 does look like, once again, the 3 horse could be a tone setter. The 1, the 3, and the 8 being the only ones with a C zone at 50% or higher. Here we got a potential par plus trifecta with the 5, the 7, and the 8. Any overlays? That looks like Screensaver is about the only one that might offer a little bit of value from our 10,000 simulations. Our posting of it, the 7 horse in here, Lone E. Everybody's looking for him. If that horse can get to the lead, look out. Everybody else wants to be middle back, with the 3 horse being one that has not been within 5 lengths of the winner when they hit the finish line. Early on, Cobble Road is the quickest. Mucho Macho Eddie. Screensaver has a shot to be there. Might have to work a little bit too hard, though, to get in front of the 3 or the 4, although does have enough late speed to withstand a little bit of pressure from those 2 up front. At the end of the race, the 6 and the 8 should be coming from about 2-3 lengths off the lead. Our top total pace horse is indeed Screensaver. Maybe that is a race saver today. Thomas, you don't have as your top pick. You have the 1. Why?
I went with the 1. I tossed the last race. Needed a shoe repair before the race, and it wasn't even close. So obviously it was pretty bothered by that little bit of a problem that they had. And in races distance before, ran 3rd, had some issues at the start. So today we're going to have a good work put into it at 5 furlongs. We're going to switch jockeys. Number 1 at this distance got the rail, so a good ride is necessary. But it tends to like the inside. So I think if it can get a good trip, it could be very interesting. 5, Shugo Star.
You have the 5 or the 6? Because you have the 6 up on the screen there. So I must be, I'll go back and change it over here.
Yeah, I must have done it wrong. I'm sorry.
Yeah, you fat fingered it. That's okay. We all.
Life's a bowl of cherries.
Yes, indeed.
He's never been out of the money in 3 tries at this distance. He moves late, which is a good thing in this race. He's been going wide. He's tucked along the rail, so kind of versatile. You can put him in the race in the right place. He's coming in off a layoff, so we got 3 works into him, and then those look pretty good. Has run fresh okay in the past, and I think I got to put it in because of its ability to run at this distance.
And then the 7, where you leave off, Screensaver, is where I will begin. That is our overlay. Strongest chance to be a par plus horse. I'm a big fan of that. And the last race was better than it looks. It did run the same final time as it did in the previous race, where he won by 2.5 lengths. I think you'll see less speed in this race because it'll be more forwardly placed than before, and a good chance to be the Lone E. Again, I've seen way too many Lone E's at Parx score, so I don't run away from them. Hornbeam, the 8 horse, also ran faster last time out. I always like to see that indication a horse is coming to form. Did run almost a second quicker, does have plenty of late speed to go with that. And I feel like getting some extra distance today, this horse might be one that benefits the most. If not, Hurricane Highway is another one that has plenty of back class, did up its pace from the beginning to the middle to the end of its last start. And another with those late legs that should benefit from running the longest race it's run in a while. And then finally, the 5-horse Sugu Star. Would you go with that, Tom? What do you think?
Yeah, Sugar. I don't know.
Yeah, Sugar Star. Well, Sugar. Yeah, like the I forgot. I can't remember her name. The Cuban singer who say Sucar. Anyway, I'm sure if you Google it, you'll know who I'm talking about. This one just missed at this level last out, taking a short rest, and has a trio of workouts during that short time frame to make sure it comes back to the track stacked and fit. Race number 2 about to get cooking as they're lining up in the gates right now.
Yeah, in the post parade, the 2 looked a little too keen.
You thought so?
Yeah. And the 5 went without a outrider. And they had a little bit of problem in the back of the chute with it. Showed.
Well, I remember when we talked to Jose Ortiz on the Player's Edge podcast. That's what we called it. I can't believe I finally remember the name after 3 months. He did mention that.
You finally remembered. I didn't remember. You did better than me.
Yeah, once in a while, the things up there fire. When they do, it makes me feel like, all right.
You go, oh my God, what's happening?
I literally get that ding feeling like that relief. The 2-horse off the maiden special weight drop and off the Naira drop only being 9-5 is concerning. The 5-horse, but I was saying Jose Ortiz said when the lead pony doesn't go along with them, usually that's when he feels like his horse is the best ready to run, that he separates from the lead pony. I remember him telling us.
And probably at this level with these types of horses, he's probably even a little more interested.
So they are off and running, and you have a 5-6 wide across the track at the beginning here. You have a whole host of them trying to compete for the lead. Right now, it looks like the 5-horse, the 4-horse, and the 3-horse are all battling to be up front, and the 4-horse has emerged as the leader. The 2-horse, while he might have been a bit keen, he is in the mix right now at 3-2 down on the rail. Question is he going to be happy running in between horses in the rail like that? Some horses don't like that at all. Though it doesn't look like the jockey's really asked for much out of the 2 yet. The 3-horse, another long shot on the lead at a big price, 40-1. 2 horses running very comfortably on that class drop right here, Tom. They went through the opening quarter in 22-3. The 7-horse is coming up. Tom's third pick pretty boldly on the outside there. He looks pretty good. The 6-horse making a pretty aggressive run. It's going to be tough, I feel like, to go 5 wide. The 8-horse on the rail, going to make his call, but here comes that 7-horse at 5-1. The 2-horse continues to hang up in there. Is anybody else going to make a move here? The 2's battling on. It should have the class here to win, but it looks like in the end of this race, it might come down to the 6-horse here, Tom. The 2-horse is hanging in there. Does he have the legs to hold on to keep us alive in the pick 4, Tom? I think the answer to that question is going to be an unfortunate. Your friend's handicapping angle just came in, Tom.
Yeah.
You want to repeat what that was?
It's big favorite, second.
Yes. And what's interesting about race number 2, Thomas.
And I should point out the way he plays it is usually he plays exactus.
Mm-hmm.
And he's, this race would have been tough for the price, but you never know. And that's the way he plays it. He's looking for that price.
Well, what's interesting here is the 6-horse, Nurse Caroline, is your winner. It was your morning line favorite at 5-2, and he went off at 5-1 for Frankie Pennington.
That's an overlay.
Yeah, so that's a nice little overlay in there. So gotta like that. If you're playing that, I don't like the fact that I haven't come close to winning. I'm going to kick you off and bring Terry back from vacation. Let's see where the 6-horse ranked in our top total pace mix. Was he involved there? Just on the outside, the 5th horse in there. So I don't know, Tom. We're going to have to find something here in race number 8. 3 races to go. I might take off the rest of the week. Only 5 horses in this field, Tom, in race number 5. Race number 8. It's got 1 scratch to 3. What are these 5 horses competing for?
This is a 6-furlong event. It's restricted to fillies and mares. And these is an optional claimer of $50,000. And these are going to be horses that are non-winners of 3 other than, non-winners of 4, 50, or you can put them in for the claim of 50, or you can be a non-winner of 1 since February 13th.
Well, I'm a non-winner since Friday. I got to change that somewhere along the line, right? I mean, how many races in a row can you go where you don't win? Well, I guess I suppose I would rather win on Saturday with the Preakness. The whole Fox and the Grapes thing.
What, you're just going to play Bafford's horse and go move on?
Muth, well, he did beat when they raced in the Arkansas Derby, Mystic Dam by like 7 lengths or something like that. So he made pretty much easy work of that horse. And they tried to sue to get that one in. Is Bafford allowed back next year? Or has he got a lifetime ban? It was 3 years at the Derby, right?
I think the ban goes off next year.
So he'll be back next year, right?
Yeah.
So I think he's probably going to try to qualify 20 horses and get them all. So every horse is going to be a Bafford horse next year at the Derby. He cannot not win. And I think if that were the case, they'd probably just cancel it and say horse COVID or something. All right, in 6 furlongs at the 8th race today, you're looking for horse with tactical speed, a bunch. 36% of them go wire to wire. A big rail bonus for Dream Chaser. They might be chasing that one at the winner's circle, 2 and out. The closer to the rail you are, the better. If you get outside of 4, there is a little bit of a penalty. So we want some inside 3 speed in a 5-horse race, Tom. It does look like Empress Diona is the quickest of the bunch, but they all have an ability to get to the front. So it's going to be who sends the fastest. I would suspect that all the trainers will see that everybody has a little bit of early pace. So I wouldn't be surprised if all of them get instructions to be a bit patient today and then see all of them kind of come out of the gate a little bit cautiously, but you never know. Somebody will run out there. And if it is, Ms. Buckaroo will be the one that's most likely to turn the jets on when the gates open from the outside. And that's a pretty good number. Anytime you get close to triple digits, that's borderline stakes material, even if it's low end. On the way home, Dryfaros, 9-point late pace advantage over Dream Chaser. That's a pretty big edge for a horse that should sit right in the middle of the pack of this crew. Does have an 11-point total pace advantage over the rest of the field. Tom, this is another one of those big favorite, big second place finisher. Short field. Everybody wants to pilot or co-pilot. That could set up really nicely for this lone Dream Chaser back here, especially if it can get that right pace in there, Tom. Who do you think is going to win this optional claiming affair?
I think number 6 is going to win. Miss Buckaroo or Buck Hero, depending on your she won her last race at Laurel in December. Had a nice rail trip and couldn't beat it. That was a high-end allowance race there, a $70,000 race, so it's not chump change. And I like the works. Got 3 bullet works coming into this race. She has won first up in the past, and I think she can do it. Get done with this smaller field. Number 2, Empress Diona, is my next choice. Has good early speed and won at the $25,000 claimer level. She'll have, like all these, they're going to have some. Who's going to get the front, or is it going to be the case where the jockeys all think everybody else is going to go from the front, and somebody will get an easy lead? Because we've seen those before. So I consider this a thinking's jockey race because this horse's best efforts are on the lead. That's why I think it will be on the front.
Yeah, and the statistics say he should be on the front from our simulations too.
Yeah. For Dryfaros, I don't know.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Yeah, won twice this year at Gulfstream, and he's run really well overall in its career. It's got some placings in being in Grade 3 races. I would be shocked if this wasn't the favorite. And her record speaks for it because she's got 9 starts, got 4 wins in 4 seconds and 1/3. Yep. But there's a lot of competition in this race, so they're gonna have to, I think they got to take her off the pace and sit behind and hope they get room either along the rail or if she likes to go between horses. So that always a challenge for any horse. There are ones that do not like that, and there are ones that are just right. So what do? You wait for an opening along the rail, or do you swing wide and hope you've got enough gas to get there?
Yeah, if you can build that momentum. Fortunately, it's only a 5-horse field, because I do have that one on top with the 10-point total pace advantage over the rest. So way I envision this race, you got a couple of them that go to the lead. This one sits in that 3rd or 4th place position. So it's that horse that sits right behind the outside horse. It takes its choice then at down the stretch because it has a 2 length late pace advantage at the end. So I think if it can sit right off the leaders, about a length off, runs past them at the end and wins the race to the finish line. If not, your top pick, Miss Buchero. We'll go with that from my pronunciation standpoint. Good chance to be the one that's on the lead. Is a class dropper. Won the only time this horse raced at Parx. And when it won with ease. Number 1, Dream Chaser on that rail, which gets a big time bonus. This one likes to fire off the bench, and then it is dropping from a $100,000 non-graded stakes race, and usually comes off the bench hot and then cools from there. And then finally, Majestic Creed, the 5-horse. So between you and me, Tom, we have every horse in this field. One of us will have picked the winner. This one hasn't run since November. The class is there. The workouts are solid, but my concern is its first up record. Last time it came out and finished 6th after some time on the barn, and then picked up afterwards. So it might be one that you circle and pay attention to next time out. But because I badmouthed them, you might just want to put it in the winner circle. Christopher D'Souza says you can put the 1 in the winner circle right here. Race number 2 result you're looking at. I think the second race number 2 was won by the 6-horse Nurse Carolyn, paid $12.20 as the morning line favorite, as it got bid up to 5-1. Echo Lake, the maiden special weight dropper, that was a bit keen. Maybe that pre-race keenness, Thomas, cost that.
Well, and also if you watch the replay on the head-on, it drifted out, and the jockey kept trying to straighten it out, so it probably lost the race with that.
A little bit green after coming off the bench with a long layoff. So next time out, that one will probably be even a bigger favorite than it was today, as it should be a little bit sharper. And then following the 2-horse, you had the 7-horse Whiskey Street Blues, paid $4.20 to show. The Exacta 6-2, $21.20, not bad for the morning line favorite and then the post time favorite. The Trifecta 6-2-7, $47.90. Superfecta for a dime, 6-2-7-5, $23.76. And then the Daily Double Tom's 4 on top of the morning line favorite for race number 2. A buck paid $64.10. So if you took Tom's 4 and went all in the second leg, you're pretty smiley right about now. All right, let's move off to the first leg of the late daily double, since we talked about the early daily double. In race number 9, Tom, it's your task to tell us the conditions.
Now we have a 6.5 furlong race. This is an optional claimer for $50K. And this has got the, like the last race, the assorted things. We've got first a non-winners of 1 other than. We have a non-winners of 4. We have a claiming tag of 50,000. And we have that non-winners of 1 since February 13th.
13th, the day before Valentine's Day. So Valentine's Eve. We see in the first
no horses with Valentine's in their name. So
no, well, it would be the day before. Yeah. We saw the first 2 races at 6.5 furlongs. Tactical Speed did win the both of them. 26% of them go wire to wire. We did not see that in either one yet. So maybe in race number 9, we will get the wire to wire performer. It's pretty close statistically. Rail gets a bonus, 1 more scoop, 2 and 7 fair, 8 and out, penalized. So we want a little bit of inside speed in the 9th race, and most of the speed's on the outside with Bourbon Music. That one has a really good shot to be up front, although all of them except the one with some chance to step on the gas and take charge early. The two that are most likely, the three, are the inside 3 horses, the 3, the 4, the 5. If you want to play the C-zone trifecta, they're likely to get good trips in terms of the pace set up. We have a trio of them, the 3, the 5, and the 7, with some chance, not the strongest chances, to run a par race or better for speed figure. You have an overlay with Gordian Knot from 7 to 2 to roughly 9 to 5. And then a little bit of an overlay, too, with the speedster up front there. It looks like you should be about 5 to 2 fair odds versus 5 to 1. So maybe half of what the morning line looks like in race number 9. We've got a race shape, really no true pace setter in here, although the 2-horse, Beren, can pilot or co-pilot. 6, 7 want to be patient. You have a lot of versatility with the 3, 4, and 5. And then the 1-horse wants to close. So everybody mostly wants to be middle back. This is the type of racer, if you can get to the lead, like Bourbon Music, has a shot to do it. Again, all of them in here except for the 1, really close to each other. So if you slow start, a little bit of a stumble, get bumped, you could be first, you could be 6th. At the end of the race, hopefully without traffic, one more scoop, a bit better than Twisted Ride or Gordian Knot. Our top total pace horses, we have 3 green ones that stand out above the rest, the 3, the 4, and the 7. So they add up to 7, Tom. So there must be some numerology there too, because we talked about Valentine's Day, and if you add them up, it equals to 14th. I don't know what you make of that, but what do you make of your picks?
Oh, well, we're going to start with number 3. Gordy's Knot. Comes off a layoff with very good works. Last race was in a grade 2. He ran 3rd. The one work I really liked was the gate work of at 6 furlongs, 114 and 2. It was Handley from the gate. So they were looking to get some speed out of that horse. He's won 3 in a row in the past. I mean, he's done very nice when he wins off layoffs. So, yeah, I think it's going to be tough. 5, Factor It In is my next choice. And 2nd after a layoff at this level. Optional claimer, 50K. But he didn't break well, and that may have cost him the race. He's run at once at Aqueduct and then at Laurel, and he's done okay at Parx with 6 starts here and 2 wins and 2 seconds. Should note, if people have not picked up on it, there is an unpublished work, 48 and 3, that was on May 9th. Finally, take number 2, Baron. Ran 6th against Statebreds last out in April. Yeah, I mean, it was a little slow race at 7 furlongs, but it was interesting because put it on my ticket because it likes this distance. It's got 6 starts at this distance. It's got 3 wins at 1 second and 1 third. And kind of based on what else is in here, I think it may fit okay. Because it likes this distance, and there's always that factor when you put them in one type of race and it does not much, and then you put it back into where it likes to run, and it does okay.
Christopher D'Souza thinks the 4-horse Twisted Ride will do okay with the 1 and the 5. If, like Christopher, you have some thoughts. I know Julie put some picks up in a little bit earlier, as did Melvin Torres, as did a couple of others in here that my brain is slipping right now and neck me. Of course, Tom put his in there. So if there's anything that you like, Monmouth did open up on the weekend, folks. If anybody's interested in knowing about being a part of a group that goes in to make claims, it's a one-time investment. You don't have to follow up for the feed or the veterinarian or any of that kind of stuff. You can email me at gtsrichb@gmail.com. Or you can DM me on Twitter at HRTRich. If you just want to talk about anything, you can DM me on Twitter or hit me up there as well. Doesn't just have to be horse racing related. If you got any questions, whatever, just let me know. Fire away. Certainly open to that. I like the number 3 horse here, 2 Tom. Gordian Knot is my top selection. He's unbeaten in 3 races at the distance. That's pretty solid record, right? And then you also got to like the Besides that, the 4-horse Twisted Ride is next. Well, also a Parx Gordian Knot, 6 times out, 4 wins in 2 seconds. So really likes that. And some really good workouts for the first race since September. Twisted Ride, the 4-horse, Christopher D'Souza's top pick. Consistent performer and going to run at the lowest level in its last 10 races. Factor it in, the 5-horse hit the triple-digit speed figure. So it has that potential. Last time out, better across the board. So maybe we see some of that 3-digit potential in this spot. And then finally, the 2-horse Baron. Tom, your 3rd pick, my 4th pick. This one is a tough call for me. Over to 7, Bourbonic Music, the one that's likely to be the pace setter with a strong par plus, but it's just done better at Parx. So perhaps he prefers the Philadelphia track over the Drinking Horse. And then finally, the last, there's some people too I used to work with that they would do their handicapping off of the horses that had alcohol in their names. And the funny thing is they would do all right.
Well,
So,
it must have been really done because I was part owner of a horse named Pub.
Well, then you should have won every race. So in the last race of today, Tom, I know a 13th will factor in there somewhere.
Oh, it does, because we're going 6 furlongs. It's restricted to fillies and mares, and it's a $5,000 claimer. These are non-winners of 2 since November
13. That's not the day before. Is there anything important on November 14th? It's not Valentine's Day. Is it like anti-Valentine's Day, like breakup day or something like that?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Is there such a day? Yeah. I mean, is there such a day like that?
Yeah, the sweetest day.
Is it the 14th of November? I don't know what day that is.
No, I don't know when it is. It's
so two romantics for sure right here. When sweetest day? I have no idea.
Well, it's probably one of those Hallmark holidays.
Mm-hmm. That's what every romantic guy says.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Race number 10, Tom, that's 6 furlongs. Maybe we'll get some love off of a horse that has tactical speed with a bunch, 1 out of 3, a little more than that. Winning wire to wire. Big rail bonus for Scintillating Star. The closer you are to the rail, the better off you are. If you go 4 and out, there is a penalty. So we want some inside 3 speed in the final race of the day, but most of the speed is to the middle with the Fleet Diva, and 7 years later being the quickest of the 2, 7 years later being the most likely pace setter. Looks like Gia's Fuego and a Fleet Diva, they have a pretty strong par plus. Boss Car not too far behind. Miss Malevolence too should like the pace in here. Do we have any? We got a trio of them with a good shot. The 3-horse More Ransom, that one's very strong par plus, and of course not neither one of our picks. It's also the biggest overlay according to our simulation odds. Looks like you can bet that one down to 1-1 and still find some value. Gia's Fuego, a little bit of an overlay from about 5-1 to 8-1. 7-2 on a Fleet Diva or 4-1 morning line. Those are your potential overlays. Again, I'm not so concerned about the morning line odds. Just looking where our simulation odds are lower than the post time odds. That might be some value. We've picked many a nice winner here. Most of this field wants to be middle back at a distance that prefers front runner types, mid-pack types. So in the beginning, 7 years later, and a Fleet Diva, that's a 5-horse that PC going to move forward. Left arrow horse, look out for those. Late speed wise, More Ransom is the one with the most late speed, Tom, about a 1.5 length over everybody else in a tightly packed early pace race. So that one could be on the inside, sitting 3rd or 4th, and then have a really good shot to use those legs down the stretch. And of course, it is a top total pace horse. Doesn't make our picks whatsoever at all. So we're going to look stupid when the 3-horse wins, Tom, but tell us why it won't win.
Absolutely. Well, I'm going to start with number 6, Luna T. Drops from 10K. He rallied in his last race to run 5th, but also had some issues in that race. Ran a little better in the slop at this distance and ran 3rd. But it was a bit wide in that race. It was claimed for 5K out of a non-winners of 4 lifetime race in January, and then won its next start. I kind of think it's got some form in this race against the non-winners here, and a little bit of a drop I think will help. And 1 scrutinying star, my next choice, One last out, it pressed the pace, it passed the leader and went on to win. The race before it showed very little, and that was at this level, but it was wide most of the race, 3 and 4. So it didn't get the trip. I think drawing inside helps this horse because of its speed, and I think the chances will be a lot better. And I don't have another one because I didn't write it up because one of mine got scratched.
Well, that's good enough for me, right? Sometimes less is more. So we'll go with that angle. Race number 10, Christopher D'Souza liking the 4-horse. Gia's Fuego, Gio's Hot, the 3 and the 5. More Ransom and a Fleet Diva. So those 3 horses in there with the C-Zone. So it's the C-Zone play for D'Souza all day. At the end, I'm going to go with the 5-horse. Part of Chris's mix there. A Fleet Diva, that one will get my top choice. It's going to drop in class. And I think there might be a little deception for this one, Tom, because the 5-horse, if you just look at a speed figure, you're going to say, wow, that one regressed last time out from a 70 to a 75. But if you look internally at the pace figures, improved a little bit early on, flat here, and really the same and the late speed. So I don't think it's as big a drop off as perhaps the speed figures indicate. So maybe your speed players will jump off of that guy and we'll get some better odds than 4-1 with the William Buick of Parx on board. Lean on me when you're not strong. The 11-horse is your second pick. It is that claim and drop angled. Again, another time where if the horse gets claimed off of the claim and drop, the winner, the ownership group, going to double their money. Ain't nothing wrong with that from one race to the next, particularly if he doubles our money as handicappers. Number 1, Scintillating Star. That's Tom today taking over that role on the show, making Terry and I look foolish. That 4-horse in that first race there. But it is dropping off a win. Last time out, better across the board. And I feel like, Tom, when you look at this, with the drop off the win, last time out, this horse ran at a higher level. That tells me that this is just one of those condition books, right? 5,000 winner, 9 year of 2, right? 9 winners of 2. So that tells me that that horse is, in all likelihood, just one of those. There you go. That's what my brain does half the time, just goes blank. One of those condition book races. And then finally, Lunati. Who's the 11-horse? I put the wrong one up on there. No, dropping off there. Okay. And then finally, the 6-horse is my last choice in here. Top last race speed figure, Tom, dropped to the lowest level in its career. A lot of times in my race notes at the end of the day, I see top last race speed figure drops in class. This guy's been in the money 8 out of 11 at the distance. So pretty good performer when running that far. We got about a minute left to race number 3, Tom. So real quick, again, if you're going to bet Mountaineer tonight, I'm expecting that we'll have a pretty solid night there. So please head on over to Guaranteed Tip Sheet. There's a link in the description below. You'll find them on Facebook, Twitter, everywhere we are. You see down there, horse race, the number 2 day. While you're following us on YouTube or any of the social sites, please share our content. We'd really love to get to 10,000 subscribers on YouTube this year. That would be awesome. Hello, hundreds of Condra. Nice to see you today from wherever you are on the planet. And then, of course, in the description, there's a link to our gear. We talked about the 13 1,000 times today. There's the 13 shirt. It's actually my favorite. You can get that 15% off for the next 4 days, Tom. You and I will be back tomorrow for Parx. But before we do that, here are the rest of our picks for this day. In race number 1, Tom did score the winner with his top pick, the 4-horse. The 6-horse won the second race and didn't make either one of our selections. So hopefully for the rest of the day, our numbers start to show up, Tom. And for you, it looks like the 2 score, you'll have a great day.
Yep. I started out strong and $23 winner, I'll take for sure.
Yeah. I mean, if you figure if you bet $2 on every one of Tom's top picks for the day, that would have been a $20. And right now you're already sitting on a $3 profit, notwithstanding any other winners. So race number 3 about to get cracking. The 4-horse is your 7-5 favorite. Tom's 2-horse, 17-1. So if that one comes home the winner, Tom will have doubled your money in the opening 3 races for the $2 winners. They're off and running. I hear Jessica Paquette in my ear. So let's take a look at what we thought would happen early on. We suspected that the 4-horse would be one that would compete for the lead. He's not. The 6-horse we thought would be on there too. So he did fire out of the gates. The 2-horse Dixie Cannonball in that mix too. The 4-horse has now found its way into second place. The 6-horse, Tom's second choice, Mega Charlie, sitting on the lead in the opening quarter, 22-3. The 4-horse right to its outside, so should get good running room. The 7-horse about 2 lengths off the top 2 in third. The 2-horse, after competing early on, has faded back, but he's looking like perhaps he thought the pace was too fast at 21-1. He's starting to re-rally now. Going to have a good shot, it looks like, to perhaps get in front of the 7-horse. I kind of hope he does, because I have the superfecta with the all in that third leg, and I sure would like a 22-1 to be in that all spot. They come around the turn. The 2 horses are going to have every opportunity at 21-1, Tom, to give it a go. It does look like the 4-horse and the 6-horse are going to be in that mix. Looks like who's coming up on the 4-horse looks like it's going to be your winner. The 5-horse, I don't know. The 5-horse has decided to compete in there. No. Here comes the 1-horse. I don't know what the hell's going on today. Did I look at the right program today, Tom?
You looked at tomorrow's program.
I think I did. The 5-horse is your winner, Crypt, at 4-1. Then the 1-horse, Hibachi, is your second place horse. Folks, whatever I did for the rest of this day, just fade it, because that's the way it looks right now. Tom's 5-horse coming in. I guess the curse of Friday and all these 13s are doing me in. All right, Tom, that wraps it up for today.
Too many 13s.
Yeah, I'm going to go home. I'm going to go sit down at my desk. I'm going to look at tomorrow's picks for Thursday, and then I'm going to do Thursday's picks for Tuesdays, and maybe I'll read the right card. Any final thoughts from you before we get out of here today?
No. Well, as always, good luck. It looks like there's going to be some prices today, and so far, that's been the case.
Indeed. Well, no matter what you're doing for the rest of this day, hopefully you do better than I'm doing today at Parx so far. That you got God's grace. God's
you still got more opportunities to lose money.
Well, your $2 win bets. You're up for the rest of the day right now.
Yeah, I'm up, but as I said, but I have opportunities too to lose money.
Right now, I'm scratching my head, but I certainly hope that no matter what you do, with God's grace, God's favor, it ends up. Thomas, we're in the States now. So that has to be the
winner's circle.
Yes. I hope I have that much enthusiasm after 10 races today. See you tomorrow, folks. Have a great Monday.